Alrighty, we're back. We'll continue this on for a while longer. And he has more errant trees to run. You can learn a new power technique. Skill, I'm still undecided if I want to get his intelligence attacks. I think I'll hold off on that. Go ahead, go to skill. Go ahead and learn one. Good, good, good. Alright, 5 life. Beat the gigantic crab, alright. Does soft nature affect the monster's combat performance or how it trains? No, it does not. I believe in Monster Rancher 1 it did, but I don't think there's any there's any drawback. Drawbacks like that to their training performances. From what I could tell, what is it? Going from the spoil side, there's soft, fond, and then doting. And then from the stricter side, there's strict, I forget the other one, and then the last one's Spartan. And as far as I could tell, it basically caps their loyalty on how loyal they can be to you. On the extremes, on either side, the max loyalty is 50. Then the next one is like 80. And then, oh no, 50, 70, and then 80, or is it 50, 60, and then 80? I have forgotten if I fed him the mint leaf or not. I know I bought them. Good, I did forget. And the loyalty is in junction with their foolery. So that's all that I really know that affects their soft or fond or anything like that. That's why the loyalty caps on monsters. That's exactly the reason why. Now it caps it, but like it doesn't cap it like immediately. Like it will leave the loyalty where it's at, or probably drop it some in increments, and probably give you time to correct it. It may be an official tournament, but not this time. I do know that mint leaves and nuts oil, they really help keep your monster at about even. I don't remember which logistic does what, but usually people don't have a problem keeping them at even if you give them nuts oil and mint leaves. I know one works one way, one works the other way, but it just seems to like keep him balanced overall. And what move did he learn? Ah, the charge. I personally love this move. S accuracy. I mean, it's not the most damage, but I mean, if you can land a hit, you can land a hit. You can dodge a wrench. You can dodge a ball. Now, how old is he? He's coming up on 2 years now. Yeah. But we're here trying to finish out all of his moves. He can learn another skill technique. And he can learn another speed technique. I've been doing them all kind of even. So, we'll do speed. He'll miss the next tournament. You'll be fine. Oh, he didn't learn a skill though. Will it come later? I hope so. Oh, I don't have high hopes that he'll learn a skill. I didn't know for the absolute longest time either that what nuts oil and mint leaves did for a monster. And now that people have broken down the science of the game, they are absolutely vital to getting a monster to absolute top tier. The only reason I knew, ooh, life's comparable, power's comparable, we're dropped on skill. They have the speed, but we have the defense. So we'll see how Pupface and Champion of Capu are. Well, not looking so good right now. The only reason I found out that... Yeah, I know he didn't learn a new move. I could load and, you know, do it again until he gets... Oh! We bail out. We have 1 HP. We bail. Most people who are going for perfection would load in this instance and try to get a move. I will take the chat's advice. I personally don't mind either way. If you want to see a new move, I will try another attempt and re-roll. If you guys don't want that, then I won't do it. So I'll take the chat's advice. But back to the whole nuts oil and mint leaf thing. The only reason I knew that it was effective is because I'd played the game so much and had so much money, had all the money in the world, that kind of finding out a little bit about the he got right in the bows, so it would probably do better for his mood. Alright. I understand how you feel. Absolutely, chat. You know, I had so much money, and I knew it had some effect, the whole mint leaf and nuts oil thing. So basically, I just gave him file. I need to speak out loud, make sure I do this right. Load. Okay. I basically just kept using nuts oil and mint leaves in no particular order, but kind of alternated between the two. You can tell by how Colt says if they're feeling very well, or they go from seems well to well after using a nuts oil, kind of with indicators of how it's doing. Every time that she says that the monster's stressed, I would give a mint leaf. And usually mint leaf rest to try to like overcompensate for that. And then that's when I learned, like, my monsters started going from 3.5, 4 years to 4.5, 5, 6 years. And he's just not learning a move. And we will take the quick way out. That's when I kind of found out that they really did do something for the monster's life. I didn't quite know why. I'm going to try a different error tree instead of the speed one. Maybe because his speed stat's not high enough. I've heard that some moves require a stat, but a lot of it's unconfirmed. But I also have had experience of reloading, and then finally getting it. We'll do a power one. And, so the whole mint leaf and nuts oil thing, absolutely vital to, is he just not gonna learn a move? He may not be in a learning kind of phase. Oh no, he learned something. It's all good. He's alright. Just took a minute. That's when I learned how important it was. And then basically from then on, me and my brother Zero, we would... That's how we train our monsters from then on. It's not until... I know much later, and for me personally, since I picked this game up again, when my brother had all the research done, and I actually saw the numbers of what mint leaves do, of what nuts oil does, the cost of stress and fatigue, and how it took weeks off your monster's life, and saw the science behind it, that I really got a good grasp and understanding. I hate Flash Slash. It just doesn't seem to land. And you're right. Plate really likes the champion of Capua. Champ has beat up on him. This is the 3rd time now. I still haven't seen this new move come out yet. And it is quite amazing that there are so many, like, this game's pretty intricate in the hidden mechanics of how you raise monsters and how things work. It's absolutely impressive. And it's even more impressive that people have broken this game down to flat out science. Like, there are guides on training, exactly how you want to do things, under what circumstances. You know, they've broken down the foods, they've broken down, they've done everything on this game. This game, I don't think there's a stone left to unturned on this. Not even a pebble. Yep, Champ is pure. I got him from the swords, and so he's the very first one. And Durahans, I will say Durahan, the American, but we are speaking the same one. Durahans are one of my top 2 favorites. And we have another errand tree to go to. What move did you learn? Rolling Slash. It's a good move. Blew my mind how I used other game music. Oh, CDs. And you know what? To this day, I don't know of any other games that use other games, other CDs, for any purpose at all. Monster Rancher, I still think, is the only one that does that. And it's strange that there are certain CDs, certain games that bring out absolutely unique monsters. And it was a fun part of the game. I mean, everybody, happy birthday, and you know, you go around, grab every CD in the house, see what monsters are in there, see all the cool ones, the monsters that are locked in some of them, and you're like, oh man, you know, I wonder what's behind this, the mystery. It was amazing, and I imagine there's no CD list that's complete. I'm sure for the mystery and the special ones, yes, but you know, you can't break down every single CD of what it would be. And as for my other favorite monster, it would have to be a golem. And kind of thinking about it, I was talking about this on another stream, that I'm sure that my love for golems came from Monster Rancher 1. Golems, you know, being young and not knowing how to raise a monster, I was able to raise a really good golem and make it to the end of the game. The golem also had chop. It was like a S or an A damage attack with a E or D accuracy, but it only cost like 17 guts, and it had a quick animation. When it hit the opponent, they just crumbled to the ground, like instantly, flat as a pancake, and it just felt very powerful, very, very good. And going from Monster Rancher 1 to Monster Rancher 2, I constantly looked for a golem to train, and when I was able to make a golem in Monster Rancher 2, after a couple combinations and, you know, work, I got a golem all the way to S rank, through the Grand 4, and eventually the Legend Cup. So the golem solidified itself as one of my favorite monsters. You can still learn a power technique. Durahans have so many moves that it can learn. Galleys and hangers and mixing galley and tiger. I like galleys. Galleys are lots of fun. I want to try a hanger. I haven't trained a hanger ever. Did I save? Not sure if I saved or not. Dragons, I love the dragons in Monster Rancher 1. Because I mean, they were much harder to get than they are in this one, and they were way overpowered. They had trample, a 50 guts move. Which one should I pick? Alright, we'll try the speed again. They had a 50 guts move, but it had, what was it, S attack, A accuracy. I mean, you just beat every monster. You just flat out beat them down. Alright, he learned his move. But in Monster Rancher 2, they don't have the moves that they had before, and the lifespan is really, really short. Well, okay, really, really short, but it's shorter than average. Don't be injured by the bears, please, champ. Yeah, SA. Even though it was 50 guts, it was OP. I mean, it was flat out disgusting. So I think they overcompensated and nerfed him pretty hard into the ground. And I remember training a dragon in this one and just not being satisfied with how they came out. But, now that I'm older and understand the science, I might be able to raise a really good dragon. Hangers are annoying because they never get great growths, but they are innately strong monsters, and it feels that way. My brother made a hanger, and it was not his best monster, but I think it was a Gen 1 hanger, and it was good. It was a solid monster. I don't think he ever tried to take a hanger to the next level, give it the special training, do all the things right, and get a better one. But I do believe hangers have a long lifespan, or more than average. Katos are bad monsters, but they are nerfed in the American version. And actually, my very first monster that I raised was a Kato. And I never trained one before, so it was interesting that I got to try it. Jumping stab. This one's a funny move. It's a good move, but somehow I never really used it over dash slash. I mean, it's got crit, but usually you don't really rely on crits. At least I don't. But I got the jumping stab. Did I use the nuts oil on him? Probably not. The smiley face on the jumping stab indicates that it's a good move. Monsters. If we look at the bottom right, nature, best. They have neutral, good, best, and then go in the opposite, neutral, bad, and evil. And if you look at the moves, good monsters will have the smiley face on them, and it means that they can only learn that move when they're in a good nature or best nature. There's a black background, shadowy eyes for an evil move, and they can only learn that when they're bad or worst. It's bad or worst, not bad or evil. It's bad or worst, and they can only learn those moves when they are like that. Durhan has good and bad moves, and to tell you the truth, one of his best moves is an evil move, and it's the most badass attack, I think, in the entire game. It just looks dope. Katos are bad in this game because in the Japanese version, they have a pipe. And if you know, one of the moves with the Kato, was it smoke something? And he has his hand, and he moves it out of the way and puffs out smoke. What he's actually doing is smoking out of his pipe and then puffing out the smoke as his attack. They took that out in the American version because of it referencing smoking. You can learn a skill move. You can still learn a move there. Man, he has all these moves that he can learn. So many moves. Yeah, I choose skill. Yes, I know I'll miss the official tournament. So, there's that, and his one of his intelligent moves, Oil Fire, because it referenced drinking, because what it says on the bottle is sake, I believe, in my opinion, if my memory serves me right. And what they did is that they locked the move away. They basically hot copied it, and no move. They basically hot copied it and made the move unlearnable. He drinks it into his mouth and spits out fire. You know, like how entertainers do. They put alcohol in their mouth and they blow into a torch and fire kind of deal thing. That's the idea behind the move. But they locked that away. They basically made it unlearnable. Like it just says that every time you do the errantry to learn that move, it says it might be difficult, which usually means that there's a prerequisite of a move before that you have to do 50 times before you're able to learn the next move. Yes. But it's one of his base moves, and it's a really good move because they're intelligent monsters. It was oil anyway. Yeah. So you can't get that move. And movesets are so important to the monsters. If they have a bad moveset, they won't get far. When you learn a move, learning lots of skill. So it really hinders the Kato. They also need to be evil, because a lot of their moves are evil. So that's what makes them harder to train. You can't get Oil Fire, to my understanding, by combining monsters and just basically getting the move because it's a combined monster. That's the only way I think people know to get Oil Fire, but for the most part, it's locked away and unobtainable through the game, through the natural course of the game. Now I'm gonna do a regular training because I want to see if he's come into his prime yet. He has come into his prime. I am now changing his training regiment away from learning moves right now while he's in his prime, and I'm going to take this opportunity to build his stats. And I'm not so worried because Durahan does not have a lengthy tech tree. Most of his moves, you just need to get them. So we are changing how we are handling the Durahan, which I'm kind of excited about. And I'm not clear on the European version if it was censored or not. It may be a Japan only thing. Alright, so he is 2 years, 2 months. Slash combo. No, slash combo is not, slash combo is one of the last moves he learns, and that's not the ability, cause, I remember getting that move, and I raised a good one. My brother had the evil one. It was a punching one of sorts. What was it? It was punch combo? Possibly? Yeah, punch. Something punch. I don't have the move list right in front of me. I can go check real quick and I will have my answer. Should I take him to an official tournament? No, I don't think he's ready yet. Here, let me try. Looked up on YouTube to say whether it was nature locked. Let me. It is punch combo. If you want to check it out, you can go there. Just search for Durahan. This is American, so Durahan. If you look at the range 2, third move down, punch combo. And if you see the little E symbol that it's got, that indicates that it's an evil move. Alright, I fed him. That indicates that it's an evil move, so he must be evil for him to learn it. What do I want to build up? This defense. I need to get rid of some of these items. Oh, I keep messing up. No, there's by far not enough space to keep every monster. How many can you have frozen? 8? 10? And there's at least 30, and I'm saying at least very, very lightly. 30 types of monsters. I mean, you have apes, arrowheads, beaklons, bakus, durahans, color pandoras, golems, pixies, tigers, galleys, monols, zooms, mochis, gabus. The list goes on of how much is around. Still want his defense up. Yeah, I do. I think with the success of Monster Rancher 2, they really tried to rectify, you can collect them all and you can have them in a book, but actually physically holding all the monsters is impossible and incredibly hard to do. They rectify this in a lot of the other following Monster Ranchers 3 and 4. Errantry's cheaper. No, it's training time. They rectify this by when a monster dies, they left behind their hearts, and basically that was what you used to combine and make a new monster. While in this one, when they die, most people just loaded the game and froze them, and then would combine the monster then after. So you didn't have to worry about them dying. You could take them to the edge, they would die, and then you can make your new monster. 3 and 4 did that, I believe. And I believe 3 and 4, you were, great job. You were allowed to save your monster somewhere in some sort of thing, so that you could use them for arena fights against another human, so that you would have that monster to the end of time. You could combine them away and still keep them and still keep playing your game, so you wouldn't have to make multiple save files, you know, holding monsters of the past and things like that. It was a way for them to, you know, like if you see I got a save 3 and 4, it's to hold off some of the monsters, because I will be combining some in the future. But I want to have them with my inevitable fight when I fight with Zero. I would suggest playing 4. 3 is the black sheep of the bunch. If you can find some gameplay on YouTube, take a look and see for yourself. I played a little bit of 3, and I didn't like it. I couldn't get into it. It was not worthy of coming after 2. 4 I did play a lot more of, and I really liked 4. And I read this and I can kind of agree. Hello SRT, is 5 Monster Rancher Evo? Is that the one we're talking about there? Three is pretty widely regarded as the black sheep of the bunch. A lot of people didn't like it. When monsters learned new moves, okay Evo, when monsters learned a new move in 3, it was like Pokemon. They had 4 moves and you had to replace a move, and that really sucked. People liked having all your moves and having options, people miss that. 4 brought back. You know what? Maybe we should go to the tournament. We'll go to the tournament. 4 brought back what felt like 2. Yeah, replacing moves does sound silly. 4 brought back a lot of what 2 did, but they made some leaps with it. Like, you had your training grounds in space, and you had to purchase training equipment so that they could do certain trainings. I think I want a mid-leaf. You would also, after a certain point, you were able to train multiple monsters at one time. And when it came with that, you had to schedule who would be on what drill, you know, and what sort of rotation. And so managing 2, 3 monsters at a time. I'll get to my comments about Evo. Even though I haven't played it, I have seen some of it. And I'll throw my comments that way, although, you know, they take it with a grain of salt, and I mean no insults. And I won't say it's bad, because I definitely don't know that. 4 is really fun for the multiple monsters signing up. And on top of that, they have multi-monster battle. They have I believe, if I remember right, like a semi-tag system. A tag in, tag out system to bring in monsters to switch out when either, I don't think that the game had weaknesses per se. I don't clearly remember why. It was such a long time ago, and I did not play 4 as much as I played 2. Mostly because I had to adult and things like that. Let's see. I'll give them mint leaf, but I will do a light training. And 4 had the same thing where they died, they gave their hearts. 4 also had a really cool thing called they had a book. Basically, any monster that you had ever come across, like how I have all these cards of the monsters that I've come across and that I've owned. Once you unlock them, you basically got this book of the monsters that you had, and you could reproduce that monster straight from the book. You never had to use the CD again once you unlocked them. And that was such a big deal, so that nobody had to remember which monsters were on what CDs. You just, once you got them, they were in the book. And they were there for all time. So you could spend time having fun combining monsters just to get different types with a purpose. 4 did a lot of really great things. The one drawback to 4, and I agree with it, is that the game is much slower to play. Like how, you know, I'm playing this one on Monster Rancher 2, and we've blown by from the session that I started at around midnight to now, 2.5 hours. He's already gone through 2.5 years. Does it accept PS1 discs and PS2 game discs in the shrine? I'm not sure about PS1. 2, it did. Okay, if SRD says so, I'd agree with it. And I still believe that you could use CDs and things of the sorts with it as well. Yes. We agree there. So Monster Rancher 4 moved slower than than Monster Rancher 2. And a lot of it was compared to Monster Rancher 2. Because there's Monster Rancher 1. 2 was like 1, but better in nearly every way. 3's the black sheep. And 4 is like 2. Just moved on. Alright, I'm gonna take a look at my move list so I know what moves I want to get down, because I learned a whole bunch of moves. Flash slash never, twister slash in front, million stabs in the second position. Dash slash is looking like number 1 with the charge. If I really need a hit, I may try the jumping stab at my leisure. I don't have to do any of these moves to unlock any other moves, so I don't have to worry about that. Try to find a copy of 4, and I have actually considered, just for myself, going back to 4 and seeing what it's like. I've been in my Monster Rancher 2 phase for about a week and a half now. And for now, I just want to play Monster Rancher 2. Alright, now moving on to Monster Rancher Evo. Now, I've never played the game, but I did get a good look at it. So what exactly makes 4 slower than this game? 1, multiple monsters. Planning and training around multiple monsters takes a lot more time. But I do have a hard time remembering exactly all the circumstances for it. It's hard for me to say. It's been 15 years, so I can't say with much clarity. Heavily based on Adventures 2, and that may be right. You had to be much more engrossed in the game. Oh, we're doing jumping stab. There we go, dash slash. Alright, that won us the match. Twister! That actually hits. That might kill. It does kill. Now, Monster Rancher Evo, from what I saw, like the training of it, there's a lot of mini games is how I'm gonna phrase it. You have to push buttons in the right order, or click the right, hit the right targets of buttons in the right order. You know, a sort of pseudo DDR timing kind of thing. A lot of the training was in the circus kind of deal thing. And it looks fun, although I can see it being repetitive, doing that over and over and over and over again. And part of the fun was that your monster, I could see how part of the fun of raising your monster better is doing better at the mini games. It does look fun. But fun for how long, I don't know, because I have no experience with that. I also saw you take out multiple monsters, go out around the field, and fight against other monsters. And it was not Monster Rancher, it was an RPG with monsters that you raised. You know what the hell? Rolling slash. There we go. Two hit points. This is why we have charge. There you go. It looks very. It was, you know, you picked which move to attack which monster kind of deal thing, and it was very standard RPG-ish. And that's as much that I've looked over Monster Rancher Evo. It has a storyline. there's a girl that follows you around for storyline reasons, and you go talk to people and things like that. I've heard the story's quite good, but I would not call it a bad game, and it looks like a fun game. It does look like a fun game, but is it a Monster Rancher game? And I think it derived too far. Okay, it did derive too far. It tried to in a meaningful way. It went too far away from regular Monster Rancher of raising a monster and doing these kinds of things. It probably fell into what a standard RPG is built around. Million stabs. Too much. And I think that's what people didn't like about it. I did hear that monsters can't die, but there'll be a time when their stats stop growing. Oh, hope that banana don't work. Alright, thank God it didn't. So monsters can reach 2K stats eventually. You know, and part of with Monster Rancher, you know, yeah, we have a cap of max stats, and yeah, there's a science behind it, but you were stuck within the same realm of it, and I didn't know that about Evo. I've heard from several different people. They love Monster Rancher Evo. It's the one that actually got them into Monster Rancher, and you know, I think it has its place. But it's not this Monster Rancher game. 2 is the glory child. 2 everyone loves. 2 could do no wrong. Everybody loves the fact of how the weak system works, how the training, how the errantries work. People can deal with the loss of weeks, but the necessities of the fights and the errantries, how you handle the stress and the fatigue. It's actually very closely balanced to where you can do trainings to never lose weeks, at least from the training. Oh my God, that kicked hurt. Please don't hit me with that brown hit. It's actually so closely in tune that I think it gives people immense satisfaction that they can raise these 999 stat monsters, not losing weeks of life on monsters, at least by through basic training, but by the quote-unquote necessary evils of the game. And this game is incredibly complex from Monster Rancher 1, and for the most part is considered a masterpiece. Now, the only thing that anybody could gripe on is the monsters in their stat gains and their like move choices. Like, the Joker is fun, but he only has 5 moves total. 2 basics, 2 intelligence, and 1 other move, his largest, most grand move. It's a power move, but he's based around intelligence. So why would you have that? It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. We're gonna try jumping stab. Get him. Adequate. So I think that's where the stigma of where Evo is unliked, because it's different. The world is cruel and doesn't think properly. So I wouldn't say that it's a bad game, and I would say it looks like a fun game. Coming from somebody who hasn't played it, only seen an hour's total worth of gameplay, but kind of going through it and breaking down what the game's about. And really the only reason I think that it got the bad rap that it did is because it's not Monster Rancher. When you're a kid, you just play a game because it's fun. And I can agree that it looks fun. Having involvement with your monster's training through the mini games sounds really fun. The better you do at the mini games, the better your monster is, and you damn well deserved it. It sounds really, really rewarding. Oh, I gotta face Ragnan and not fuck up because he's gatekeeper? Ugh. My stats are good and my moves are good. I just still feel like I'm struggling a little bit. I'm not getting full-on clean wins. I could take a 32 shot. It's good. It's good. So that's my objective opinion on and, you know, my charge does so much damage. That's the reason why I love that move. That's my logical breakdown, and damn! Hit him with the charge. Hit him with the charge. No charge hits. And that won't kill me, so I'm okay. That's my objective analysis of Monster Rancher Evo. For someone who hasn't played it. But I do play lots of video games, and I can get it. I can play it through in my mind. And those are the other Monster Ranchers. They're all fun. I have someone that really likes 3. He really liked 3. You know, and you can find enjoyment in 3 as well. But coming from a heavy fan of 1 and 2, I could not like 3. It just it didn't fit right. It didn't feel right. Others may feel differently. I would call it, if it was the first Monster Rancher game, alright, good. But it's not all there. I would say 4 probably should be the best and most beloved Monster Rancher game if you took out nostalgia, because of the way multiple monsters can be raised, the ease of life mechanics that were updated in it. 4 should be, but 2 is the golden child, and it has every right to be so, and probably forever will be. But everybody can have their opinions. I don't know anybody that loves 1 the most, only because a lot of people agree that 2 is like 1 but better in every way. And a lot of it has to do with its ease of life, with basically the one thing is the skip button. You can skip the training, you can skip the errand tree. You don't have to sit through it, so you can play the game faster and get to the parts that are fun. Getting stats is fun. Winning battles is fun. And you want to get to that. Monster Rancher 4 is hard to find. I don't know, because I have my copy of Monster Rancher 4, so I don't have to go looking. But that's quite interesting. You know, 4 may be more popular. You've seen someone stream Monster Rancher 1. And Monster Rancher 1 and 2, you know, they're both PlayStation 1. 3 came out on several different consoles, if I remember right. There was a spin-off on the hand console, Monster Rancher Advance, which I believe is Monster Rancher 2 on the GBA, or the Nintendo DS, or some handheld. From what I could tell, it's basically Monster Rancher 2. Maybe the spin-offs are a lot wider than I know. Yeah, Monster Rancher 2 Advance. That's how I've heard it. So, to me, it was just, for the Game Boy Advance, Monster Rancher 2, because Nintendo puts Super for all the Super Nintendo games, 64 for all the 64 games, you know, for Nintendo 64. So, that's just kind of like how I take it. You are now rank B, right? Yes, you are. I need to train you. You are in training mode because you are in your prime. And I gotta focus on that. 2 years, 2 months. Okay. This has been loads of fun for my late night stream. I don't do these late night streams all that often. I really enjoyed talking about all the different Monster Ranchers. I highly encourage that if you ever get a chance to, by whatever means, play them. I've given my opinion, and you can take it on as you will. SRD has had his enjoyment as well. I would avoid Monster Rancher 1. It's fun for nostalgia, but in the end, it makes you just wish you were playing Monster Rancher 2. The only advantage that if you were to play Monster Rancher 1 is that the drug enhancements, use them in Monster Rancher 1. The penalties are either non-existent or they're not as vicious as Monster Rancher 2. In 2, they're really, really bad. There's almost no reason to use them. It just works against you. I've heard of some training regimens that can use it to get more efficiency, blah 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 blah. If you want to break it down, be perfect, fine. But Monster Rancher 2, you don't use any drug enhancements or anything. In 1, use the crap out of them, and then you'll beat S rank and win the whole game. Yep, that's it. No problem, Goldluff, SRD, Shimmy that was here earlier, Zero Zell that were here earlier. There was another that came by. I always forget and I try to remember. Oh shoot. My memory is fading me in my old age. Monster Rancher 2, teach your kids not to take drugs, because drugs are bad. Edition 1. Thank you, Edition 1. Tao Zochi, he stopped by for a moment. Shimmy, of course Shimmy. Sorry, I forgot you. Yep, okay, I'm going to kill the stream. You guys have a good night, or good day, good morning for you, good luck. I'm headed to bed. I'm done. I'm gonna sleep in and then contemplate my life the next morning. I'll see you guys next time.